What's up, you guys? Mike with Alpha Reptiles back with another video today, and I know I took 2 weeks off in the month of October. School's been wild, but you don't care about that. So what we're going to be doing today is a November reptile room tour. I go through pretty much everything in the room. You actually get to see everybody in this video except for the Ebonavia and Linguis. Maybe I'll try and get a couple pictures or some footage later today of them. Before we hop into this reptile room tour, I wanted to let you guys know that I have an Instagram for you guys to go check out, as well as a Facebook page. I'll leave the links in the description down below for you all to go see. Let's check out some reptiles. Alrighty, these are the Phelsuma clemeri, the neon DeGeckos. They are doing very, very well. As you can see, one of them is in the back there. They're actually both back there. You can see the one's head, and then the one is poking out of the tube, or the bamboo. But they're both doing great. I just fed them some fruit flies, so they were both out. But, of course, as I start to film, the one goes away and the other one hangs out. So, kind of sucks, but you can just see how beautiful and colorful they really are. These guys are super cool. They are a little shy with me, but I think that's just because I don't spend a ton of time in my reptile room. I do spend a decent amount, but they are still pretty shy. I don't know if they are a confirmed pair just yet, mostly because I haven't seen eggs, and they never come to the front glass, so it's kind of hard to tell which one's a male and which one's a female. But you know what? They're still doing great. They look incredible. And I'm super, super happy with how their tank is doing and how they're doing overall. I've had them for, I think, like six months now, something like that, and they're doing incredible. So these are the Phelsuma clemeri. These guys are more bamboo specialists, hence the reason why I have a lot of bamboo in here, is just because they do love the bamboo. They'll lay eggs in it, they'll hide in it, and that's what we're looking for. So I do have some bamboo in there, and I do have 2 larger cages that I will be moving these guys up to, like together, but in a larger cage, an 18 by 18 by 24. I just haven't had time to make a custom lid for it yet, so I'll have to do that in the very near future. Yummy, yummy. I love these guys. They're awesome. Moving on to the other Phelsuma laticata. These guys are really cool, actually. They're super chill, and they actually hide even more than the clemeri do. Like, whenever I walk in the room, typically they're hiding and just not very adventurous when it comes to hanging out with me. But you know what? I mean, they're still beautiful, beautiful DeGeckos, and I think my buddy might be buying them too. I just don't see myself really working with these guys in the future. I know that when I was thinking about it about a year ago when I got these guys, I think I'm just going to be keeping the clemeri, and then I'm going to try to sell these guys. So if you are in Canada, and you are interested in some Phelsuma laticata or the gold dust DeGeckos, then shoot me a message. Either on Instagram, or you can just shoot me a message here on YouTube, or comments in the comment section down below. I read every comment and we'll get in contact. So that's those guys. I guess while we're over here, I do have 2 mostly plant tanks. As you can see here, this one's got a ton of different plants in it. Some Margravia, Stargani repens, Pilea of some kind, a nice Begonia lei, I believe it's called. And then over here is kind of the, I don't know what you want to call it, like orchid tank almost, because there's 3 different orchids in there. Actually 4, I think. Yeah, 4. And so this is kind of the orchid tank. Now these guys we almost never see. I think there was an update, last update, that I decided to actually go in here and rummage around and find them. But these are the Ebenavia aniguus, or the Madagascar clawless gecko. I'll throw a picture up on screen so you can check them out. This is still kind of their, I guess, temporary enclosure. I do plan to move them into a probably 12 by 12 by 12, and maybe if Edgar's doing another import, I'll import some more so I can get some females, or some males rather. I think these are 2 females living in here. But they are really cool lizards, very kind of shy. I believe that's mostly due to being wild caught, which we'll make a video about wild caught hopefully this summer when I have more time to kind of focus on it. But yeah, these guys are doing really well. They've laid like 3 or 4 eggs, all of which have been infertile, unfortunately. But we're hoping for some positive egg laying here in the near future. Anyways, that is the Ebenavia aniguus. We can move up here to, there's nothing actually in this tank, but I figure it's worth showing because this actually, this tank here kind of blew up on Instagram. I don't know why, but it got like 400 or 500 likes, something like that. So this is just a little like rescape that I did because I had time and I wanted to redo this tank because I just sold the baby froglets out of it. And yeah, so that's the beautiful 8x8x12 Exoterra rescape. There's isopods, there's springtails, and no vertebrates in there. So we can actually go on to the Dendrobates tinctorius citronella. These are my largest dart frogs. One of only like 2 that I really still have. These guys are super bold and they will just come flying out of the tank at me. But you can see here, some of them, okay, we need to chill, please. These 2 big girls, I'm gonna say, I haven't like officially sexed them yet, but those 2 girls are starting to get some nose rub because they're jumping off the top of this log and ramming into the light. So what I'm actually doing today is I'm going to buy an enclosure very similar size to the one that I have all my plants in down there, and that'll be these guys' home. Hopefully I have 2 pairs, and in that case, I'll probably end up selling a pair to my buddy Hunter, who bought all the rest of my frogs. You guys can just see how beautiful these guys really are. Very, very nice colors. And that's the nose rub that I'm talking about. I don't love showing it because it really kind of hurts me inside as a keeper to see that, but it should hopefully heal up once I move them into a larger enclosure, and then that way they're not going to be ramming their heads off the top of their tank because they're little goofballs and they don't know what's good for them. Now with that established, we can move on to some of the rest of the collection. This tank here is one of the tanks that I was talking about that the DeGeckos might move into. Super basic, really easy, and you know, one of the setups that I did. I might end up selling that one because I am selling one of the species of DeGeckos. I'm selling the Laticata, so I might not actually end up keeping both of those tanks. The other one you'll see in a little bit. But here we have Bane. Bane, of course, is asleep right now. I don't see him out at all, actually, unfortunately. I'll throw in some footage from tonight so you guys can check out what he's looking like and how he's doing. As you can see, his tank is still doing fine. The live plants are still living. The tank is still set up, and the dry lock's actually holding up really nicely. So I am very, very pleased with how these guys are doing and how this tank as a whole is actually being kept up and is doing well. So, with that said, Bane, the Leachianus gecko, or Rhacodactylus leachianus, is doing great. I guess we'll do Sheldon right now too. Sheldon! So, that's Sheldon, as you guys all know. He is my Herman's tortoise. I don't know whether he's a Western, an Eastern, or what, but he is my Herman's tortoise, and now that I put him on the ground, a lot of the time, like whenever I'm in the room, he runs up and down the front of his pen. I don't really like that, so what I plan to do at some point, and whether, actually I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about it, is maybe put like a black curtain here, so it just covers all the way down to his drawer, or his pen, I guess, not a drawer. But just put like 2.5 feet of black curtain, or even like weed mesh, even just black cloth, something to break the visual barrier, so he just kind of does his own thing rather than, you know, freaking out and always wanting to come out and run around. I don't know if that's what you guys would recommend. I'm kind of polling you guys, the audience, to see what you guys think of that idea. If you think it's a good idea, definitely let me know. If you don't, then I guess let me know as well. But he's doing great. He is maintaining weight. The scale is, I think, upstairs right now, so I'm not going to weigh him in this video, but he is doing fine. I'm not worried about his weight anymore. It's just when I had the panic with the old tortoises that I used to have. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and look at some of the old videos that I have and educate yourself. Now, swinging back to the Froggy side, we're going to go into the Ufaga Pumilio tank. It is not super bright in here, but I wanted to say as a PSA to everybody that if you guys are interested in Ufaga Pumilio babies, there are 2 in here, so I can sell 2 of them. It won't be right away. It'll probably still be another month or 2 until they're actually ready to go, unless you explicitly give me your consent that you want to raise babies and that you do not hold me accountable for anything that may or may not happen during shipping. Or if you're in Calgary, then I guess you could come pick them up. But again, the risk is on you. I'm willing to wait if you're willing to wait, so that's my little sales pitch. But as I was talking there, you can see one of the males bounding across the screen there. The light is really pretty terrible on this tank, so you don't really get to see a heck of a lot of them. But you can see him in the background there doing really, really well. There is, I think right now, like 7 in this tank because there's 2 babies. But 2 babies, 5 adults, and that's that. Also, if you guys are wondering what that little like clear dome thing is, that's a snail trap. So basically what I do is load it up with some like food that it came with, and then I go in there every night when the snails typically come out, and I pluck a bunch of snails off of it. It's just kind of like a I don't want to call it like an extermination because it really doesn't kill them. It's me taking them out of the tank. So I guess it's just like a biological control, if you will. This tank is empty right now. I do have a friend that said he's going to buy it. Whether he does or not, that is still remaining to be seen. He said that he'll probably get it around the 15th of November. So I guess like 14, 15 days from now. And this tank is doing great. This is the tank that I used to have my Erotis in. As you can see, it has grown to be a full-blown jungle. And the only plant I'm really going to be taking out of here is this. This is it's called a manta ray vine. I need to see what actual like species and stuff it is. But it's very, very, very rare in Canada, and it's doing really well in this tank, so I'm kind of scared to take it out, but this is like a one-of-a-kind plant, so I do not want to leave it in here for it to get lost or to leave my collection, because I'm kind of selfish, and I'll also be taking some of that mini philodendron back there that I just exposed, because that Selaginella is growing like a weed. And now that we've covered all the frogs and all the like vivariums that I have, we can move on to some of the other favorites in the room. In here we have Dixon, the leaf-tailed gecko. Unfortunately, you can't really see much of Dixon because he's at the back there being antisocial, but I reckon that he will probably be getting an upgrade eventually. I just need to figure out how I'm going to plan out my room with the couple new additions that are coming that I just could not pass up and are the most expensive animals I've ever bought. But that's the only hint you guys get. If you're looking for more hints, you can just shoot me a follow on Instagram, and you guys will probably know a little bit ahead of time what I'm getting and when. Now, we can move on to the infamous Tiggo. Tig, as you guys know, is a crested gecko, and she is right down here. You guys can see some butt right there. She's just hanging out. I don't want to disturb her too much, and I can't zoom because I only have one hand, but you guys can see her there. She's doing great. She's eating well, she's healthy, and her tank is growing in really nicely. I really like how this snake plant is growing to be kind of a wall in the back. She loves it, so I can't really complain about it, and I'm super stoked that it's doing well. So that's her tank. It's like an 18-18-24 equivalent, but it's a nice black PVC tank. It holds humidity and heat quite well. She does have a UVB basking bulb, and she's doing fantastic. So can't complain about that. Really happy with Tig, and you guys know and love her. She is one of the favorites on this channel. All right, now that we've covered all that side of the room, we can move on to the custom wooden enclosures that my buddy made for me. But as you guys know, this is Bowser. He is my red Aki, my Varanus acantharus. You can see just how stunning his reds are. He is an incredible lizard. I love him. He's doing great. As you can tell, well, maybe you can't, but he's pretty much in the middle of a shed, so that's kind of unfortunate. But he's doing well. I managed to bring down his weight a little bit, as well as reduce some of the effects of the gout that he has. So that's nice. He's a lot more mobile, he's a lot more active, and as you can tell, he's just chilling, basking under his UVB. So I cannot be upset with how he's doing. I do want to change it. I say that every single reptile room update. It's just I haven't been able to talk to the people that I need to talk to in order to get it done. But basically what I want to do, and if you're fans of the Reptarium from Brian Barczyk, I basically want to pimp out his cage to look similar to the Reptarium with fake background, some really cool fake rocks, and hopefully some living plants, but as well as some fake ones. That's just a project that I really need to spend some time on and really figure out, and I just right now don't have time to do that. He's not suffering or anything in the cage that he's in, so I'm not in a super big rush to come and to rush that process. Bowser, the Varanus acantharus, in the middle of a shed, as you guys can see. He's got some wings growing out the side of his head, so not conducive to running around or anything. But that's him. And then right above him, we have the beautiful Sky. Sky's doing really well. Eating like a champ. I just fed him, and of course he's gonna go and hide. Thanks, Sky, appreciate it. Obviously I just sprayed down his enclosure as well, hence the crazy humidity spike. But he is a Maruki, so he is an Indonesian species, so he does like high humidity, around the 70 to 80% mark, and that's what he's sitting at now. So I'm not complaining, but again, the same situation as with Sky is with Bowser. I do want to pimp out their setups. Again, it just takes a lot of time and is something that I really don't have time for right now. This setup is not up to my standards either, but it will get there. Do not worry. Up top here, it's going to look super orange, but that's because I bought the wrong kind of bulbs for it because I'm an idiot. And this is probably the Phelsuma cage that I'm going to move the Clemeri into. I do need to add some more bamboo and let the plants grow in a little bit more before I throw them in here, but this tank looks sick. I do have a couple pretty cool plants. I do have just standard croton. I have standard like snake plant or mother's tongue, I believe it's called. And then the back there, I actually have an orchid. It's called a grape orchid. I can't remember the species of the orchid, but it is an orchid, I assure you. And last but not least for this reptile room tour is going to be Striker. Ooh, you are glowing, my dude. You are just glowing. Hello. He's looking incredible. He looks so happy. Hi, Dad. Hello. But he's doing really, really nicely in his tank. If you guys don't remember, 6 months ago, wow, that's crazy. I went to Belize and I left a 12% UVB bulb in here. It ended up burning him pretty badly. So I did make a video. I'll leave it in the top right corner of your screen right now for you guys to check out. I did make a video on how to treat reptile burns, and it really worked. You can't even tell that he had any burns or any discoloration or anything. He is looking incredible right now, and I'm just super stoked with that because he's looking like a beast. So his tank is doing really, really well. I'm super happy with the Arcadia Earth mix. I'm actually turning some of my friends onto it, and that is perfect for me. Changing some minds about loose substrates with leopard geckos, and that is important because the research is changing, my friends. The research is changing. Always important as a scientist to keep up with the latest research and do as much as you can to keep up and know what you're talking about. So with that said, that is Striker. That is his enclosure. He's doing incredible. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you for the outro. And that wraps up the video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it. I know it was a pretty long update. I haven't had a video where I actually make one in my room for quite some time. It kind of feels good, but you know what? We're going to get back with some of the content. So, for those of you that made it to the end of this video, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. I will reply to pretty much every question or comment that you guys have, as well as I want you guys to leave video suggestions in the comment section. I ask it on Instagram pretty frequently, but I do want to hear back from you guys. With that being said, I hope you guys had a great October, great Halloween, and this month is going to be crazy. Mark my words when I say that. It'll be a good month for some content as well as some reptiles. So, I'm going to wrap up the video by asking you guys to please smash that like button if you did in fact enjoy this video. Also, like I said, leave a comment section in the comments down below. And if you like my videos and you want to see more reptiles, arachnids, amphibians, and plants in the future, make sure you click that subscribe button and play Ding Dong Ditch with the doorbell next to it. That way you get notified every time I post a video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next video. Later.